Wherever you are on your journey, welcome. I'm Jacqui. This is my journey called Personally Driven. So, if you listened to the previous episode, I was talking about facing my fears. Well, I also said in that episode that I would, um, after I did, after I did that, I said I would share my feelings. So, I'm gonna keep it all the way real with y'all. So, um, it, what I will say, it's been 26 years since I've been on a plane. So, of course, a lot of things have changed over the years. So, of course, when I'm getting on the whole process, let's start there. With the whole process of checking in to the airport, that was interesting. Because back in the day, 26 years ago, you could just walk in and go straight to your gate and sit there and wait to go onto the plane. That's how long ago it was. All this TSA stuff that didn't exist, and that was interesting because Atlanta Airport. Oh my goodness, it is so freaking crowded there. So it's like everybody is like just shuttled along and bobbing in and we like in this line that just weaves back and forth for whatever, however you want to say it. But so it took a while to get to that part where you check in with the TSA. Well, the other thing that was new to me is, first off, I don't know how to check in or board, I guess you would say. And I had to take off my shoes and put them in the bin, put my bag in the bin. Um, they scan your ticket, which was on my phone. So all of that is like new to me, right? Because of course, back then we didn't have technology like that. They weren't doing that 26 years ago. You had to print out your ticket back then. Remember that? Remember they used to have tickets? Anyway, uh, that's how long ago it's been. So after I checked in, or started boarding, or not boarding, but getting checked in through the TSA, had to put my sneakers back on. And now I understand why a lot of people wear slides and things like that, because you have to slip them off. So makes it a little bit more convenient. So then we had to get on the train to go to our gate. So um, when I say we, I'm talking about my son and I. We went together. And so the wonderful thing is, if you are a veteran, you get to board first, right along with first class, and yeah, so that was really nice. So we got on board and sat there for a minute to wait. I was just fascinated. First off, the plane looked huge. I don't remember the plane looking that big. I don't remember 3 rows on each side. I believe it was only two back then, the plane that I was in at that time. Um, I had my son cracking up when I was telling him how the last time I was on the plane, how it was. Like I said before, you could smoke on the plane back then. You got full course meals. I mean, you ate like for real on the plane. I don't care how short the flight was back then. Also, too, remember, I don't know if you all remember, but some of you that are around my age remember back then when you got on the plane, the airline, well, it used to be called a stewardess. Remember that? Well, air, the flight attendant used to, you know, would talk and say, the exits are here and there, and do the hand signs and all of that, and do all of that kind of stuff. Remember that? Well, I'm sitting here waiting to see that, and that didn't happen. What I was so fascinated by, on the back of the seats, there's like a little, um, what do you call that? A screen on each seat. So you can watch, you can listen to music, podcast, or watch movies. And I'm like sitting there like, wow, even live TV. I was like, this is amazing. And so all that stuff that usually the airline attendant did, it was all on video. So she didn't have to do all of those things. Um, and they gave you headsets so you can listen and all that. I just was fascinated by all that, like just laughing because that's how long it's been since I've been on a plane. So that was fun. Um, so I was surprised by what I really, really like is that the captain, he's called a captain, right? That was flying the plane. He, the pilot, I'm sorry, I said captain. I'm thinking of a ship. Anyway, the pilot, he came on and said that the weather, that it may be a little bit of turbulence because of the weather in Philadelphia, but he was saying that he's going to fly a certain altitude where it won't be the turbulence won't be as bad. Well, in my mind, when I think of turbulence, I'm thinking, oh boy, you know, I'm thinking, I'm thinking of the, you know, I'm thinking some thoughts that I just don't want to repeat. But I was just like, okay, so I'm doing some deep breathing and all of that. And I was like, it's gonna be okay. So I started playing around with the screen in front of me, and I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna watch a movie. Then I said, let me watch a comedy, something to keep my mind occupied. And then I started to watch Bridesmaid. If you haven't seen Bridesmaid, you got to watch it. It's hilarious. I started to watch that. And then I decided, nah, I don't want to quite do that. Then I was like, maybe I can. I was like, let me look at something about meditation because I know how it's calming and relaxing and all of that. And I was like, that's what I could do. So, um, I typed in the on the screen, I typed in meditation, and sure enough, there was a gentleman there. Let me see, I screenshot it so I can remember his name. Let me see if I can find it. Um, but anyway, he was doing like a master class about meditation. It was really good. I only saw up to 3 episodes. His name is John Cabot Zen or something like that. I don't know. It's John JonKabatzinn. He was teaching a mindfulness and meditation. When I tell you, I loved it. Like, I love how he broke it down. He talked about trust. He talked about um, mindfulness, of course, acceptance. Um, I'm trying to think of some other words he had in there. Anyway, but I started to watch that. In the first episode, I was watching it, and then something told me, you know what? Close your eyes and maybe um, just listen to him instead of watching him. And so I did close my eyes and I listened, and I found myself like relaxing. I found myself more calm. And I think if I would have started playing him from the start, I probably could have went to sleep. So we did have some turbulence at times, but I tell you, I really think watching that meditation, the mindfulness meditation video, helped me to um, remain calm and during the turbulence. And I think, well, not I think, I also know the turbulence was nowhere near like I thought it was going to be. I mean, there was sometimes it was a little bit shaky, but it was nothing like I was thinking. And so, what I really, really like is how the pilot informed us of when, the turbulence was coming. And he also mentioned that, the closer we got to Philadelphia, he had said that there's not as much turbulence, or the turbulence, we wouldn't hit turbulence as much. So it was a really pleasant flight. And I definitely told the pilot on the way out, I told him, I haven't been on the plane in over 26 years, and this was a wonderful flight. And I thanked him. And he was just like, wow, 26 years. He was like, well, welcome back. And I hope you come aboard with us again. And, really, really nice guy. And the airline, um, I was going to call her a stewardess. Y'all forgive me. It's been 26 years. The airline attendant, I told her that I hadn't been on a plane in over 26 years. She gave me a hug, and then she gave me a little Delta, your Delta wings. I thought that was just so cute. So she was really sweet. But so yeah, so that was pretty much my flight. And then when uh, there was a little bit of turbulence when we were landing, but it wasn't too bad. And it went faster than I thought. And what I realized is that um, he said it would take an hour and 26 minutes. And what he was including was it wasn't the actual flight, like once you're in the air taking a hour and 26 minutes. He's talking about from the time that we board on the plane to the time that we actually land, touch down in Philadelphia. So I was like, that was really quick. It was a lot faster than I thought. And um, I did get a little nervous at times, but I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it. And I'm flying back on Tuesday uh, by myself this time because my son is staying with his grandma. So, um, but yeah, it was different. So this is what I learned. I learned that I learned that I realized that my not my challenge, the reason why I have part of the reason why I have a fear of or had a fear of flying is because I'm not in control. And I realized that today when I was sitting on the plane talking to my son, because a lot of times when we drive to Jersey, um, I always want to drive. I never let him drive. I always drive. Well, one, I love to drive, but I realized too, it's also control. I noticed that um, my niece picked us up today from the airport and she drove and I sat in the front. And while we were going down the road, I realized, you know what? I want to drive. And I realized that for me, it's a control thing. I feel like I'm more in control. Um, I trust myself. Not that I don't trust other people driving, but it's just I have the will is in my hands, and I know I'm a careful driver. I have consideration of other people. So, I drive really carefully. And I always keep the passengers in mind. But I realize it's a control issue. That's what it is with me. I like to be in control of not control of other people, don't get me wrong, but it's just that I realize that I continue to work on acceptance, and um and the more that I accept acceptance, then the less I will let go and relax and enjoy and just let it be. um and be okay with what is. So that's what I learned today about myself. So I wanted to share my experience with you all, like I said that I would. Yeah. So I probably will record another one when I go back home to Atlanta. So thank you all for listening. I truly, truly appreciate you. Um, until next time, peace.